It's another season preview. We've got Air Force, as you can see behind me. I've got the associate head coach. Is that what I call you, Joe?
Good to be here, yeah.
Joe Doyle is with me. Tell me a little bit about Air Force hockey, first and foremost, because last year you guys had a really young team, but we know that you guys hang around for a little while here at the Academy. So what do you expect out of this year, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, every year is new, right? But we had a really young team last year. We were picked 9th out of 10 teams, and early on in the season, we probably looked like a 9th out of 10 teams. And but that wasn't because we didn't have the right type of guys or very good hockey players in the room. As you alluded to, we were just super young. Grew over the season. Guys got comfortable with roles that they were playing in, and we got on a good run there at the end of the season. Like I said, picked 9th out of 10 teams, ended up finishing second in the conference tournament. Great experience for our group that is back, and everybody's back, right? Except Alex Schilling in goal. We have a full complement of players back, and a nice addition of 6 freshmen to our locker room. And so we're expecting some good things this year. You know, just like I said though, every year you kind of start from a new baseline, and things, you can take nothing for granted. And so we're seeing it early here. We've had 10, 12 practices to this point, and we've got to continue to grow and get better as a group. But we have a lineup, a group of forwards that can go and should be able to score some goals. We have a back line of defenders that not only help on the offensive side, but are good defenders as well. And then, goaltending, we have 4 guys, like at every other position that we have here, kind of fighting it out to see who's going to be that next guy. Austin Park and Mason Balboa, a couple of upperclassmen that are back. Guy Blessing, a sophomore, who played last year and played a fair bit. Started a couple of games, won those games, filled in some other games, so has some experience. And then we have a fairly highly touted freshman out of the USHL, Aaron Randazzo. So we're going to get what we need back there. The daily competition and the things that Frank does with the goalies will lend itself, and we got to be good in front of the goalies, right? Let's take a little pressure off the goalies and try and be sound in front of them and let them grow into that new role of having to own a net with Alex Schilling gone.
And I want to start right there because you kind of glossed over it. I know you didn't mean to, but you said, we're pretty much all back except for Alex Schilling. Well, Alex Schilling was a big part of this program, and not to take anything away from anybody else, but how much are you going to miss him? I think you kind of alluded to it, but...
Yeah, I mean, obviously in college hockey you graduate guys every year, and you just have to find a way to replace guys. But he is one of those guys who comes through that, not only was he our MVP as far as most valuable player last year, but he was probably our most valuable person in the room, an MVP in that regard, and it'll be tough, but it's already started. Luke Rowe returns wearing a C like he did last year with Alex, and Luke Rowe has been added to that mix. And so, I often tell people with respect to our room, we don't have first and second round draft picks. We have very good hockey players, but they're not NHL first and second round draft picks. But what we do have across the board in our room are first and second round, and I think even number 1 overall picks as far as guys go. Right. We literally do throughout our room. So there are plenty of guys in that room that not only will, but have already started taking over the leadership and day-to-day type things that Schilling brought to the room. And again, we're not going to miss a beat with Rowe and Rhyme wearing the C's this year. Blake Bride is back wearing an A, and then Luke Robinson, who's a junior for us, been a very good player, was added to that group as well, wearing an A. And then again, underneath them, we have so many other guys who do little things with respect to leadership, driving the room, even if they're not wearing a letter. So we're gonna be fine in that regard.
Okay, let's talk conference-wise. You were so close last year. I guess in the position you were close. Frank would tell you that you weren't good enough in the championship game where you would have been there. But what did you take away from that besides just the experience of being there? Did you figure out a way that this group can get over the top this season?
Well, again, like we said, it's going to be a journey. But we believe, like most Air Force teams, we will be playing our best hockey in February and March. The type of guys we have in the room typically get better over the course of the year, stick together, and like I said, ultimately are playing our best hockey late in the season. The bank they now have, though, of having to go on the road, win a quarterfinal series. Oh, by the way, at Army West Point, you can't put a price tag on. Then going to the conference tournament, winning a semifinal game against one of the oldest teams in the country, one of the best teams in the country in RIT, again, adds to that bank, the process. And then what we take away is we got to get better because it didn't go so well in the championship game. And AIC isn't going away. Sacred Heart isn't going away. On down the list, Army. There's a lot of good teams in our league, and so we got to be better is the moral of the story at the end of the day if we ultimately want to get back to the NCAA tournament. We believe we have the guys in the room to do that. It'll be a function of them taking care of business day in, day out, which is that's their MO. Our guys come to the rink, they work, they get after it. We become great by the competitiveness, the depth in our room. Our Monday through Thursday practices is what makes us great. Pulling that sweater on Friday or Saturday has to mean something, and we are back to where we have the depth where if a guy has a practice or two off or a night or two off, maybe not even a full night or two, there's somebody right behind him who's chomping at the bit, who's going to be able to dive in and bring something to our team. So we're super excited. We got that far last year. The reality is, I think 12 of the 16 games we won by 1 goal. So the margin for error is so small, it's going to stay small. We need to continue to find a way to be in games in third periods and then ultimately win those games.
Okay, 2 things I want to touch on before I let you go. The first one is when I look at Air Force, typically you're a team that maybe starts a little slow with everybody getting used to being in the academy and being a cadet, playing hockey here, and then you just explode come tournament time. This year, I think the same thing's going to happen, except I think you're ready to play better hockey from the very start. And that goes back to that experience thing. So if I say that, you start off leaps ahead of where you were in the past, and then you get better. Is that a formula for the NCAA tournament? Yeah,
I think that's obviously the case. Everyone would love to get off to a fast start, and we're no different. You look at the teams that we're going to play, though, and that's not going to be any easy task. Those teams are also back and loaded with good players, whether it's Maine and Notre Dame in the icebreaker. RIT is strong again. We have CC the end of October. And so it'll be a challenge every night, but there really is no reason that we aren't ready and capable to, like I said, be in every game late and then find a way early to get a few more wins under our belt and then continue to climb from there.
Okay, so you led me into it. The icebreaker, it's got to be a nice honor to bring a couple of teams like that, participate in it, kick off the season with Maine and Notre Dame coming this way. Tell me about that for the program itself and what that sets you up for.
Yeah, it's fantastic, obviously, to co-host the icebreaker with Denver and then bring in a couple of nationally known powers like Maine and Notre Dame. Maine's receiving votes in the national poll. Notre Dame, depending on what poll you look at, is anywhere from 6 to 8 or 9. So some big-time opponents in our building, which is fantastic. And we have a great recent history with the icebreaker. Last time we played in that, hosted by Denver, we won the tournament, and that's going to be our goal going into this. It'll be no easy task, but last time we played in this a few years ago, we beat both Ohio State and Boston College. Again, a couple of big-time nationally known programs, so that's what we'll be looking to do in a couple of weeks here.
got to touch on the schedule before I let you go as well. So you're making a trip down to Arizona State again for the holiday tournament. That'll be a good one for you as well. And I think you're doing something awesome again by going to Lindenwood. The new program's starting up, and you guys have just said, hey, you know what? We're going to help you out by going to you. What does that mean for the state of college hockey when you guys are willing to do that?
Sure. I think a couple of things there. Tempe's never bad, but Tempe in January certainly isn't a bad spot. And I know a lot of our alumni and family and friends will make that trek as well. Obviously, play in a new barn down there, which will be fantastic. Not to mention opening up with Boston University, and then getting either Michigan Tech or ASU. So our non-conference schedule is loaded. And then with that, you know what? Like you touch on it on a lot of fronts. Like college hockey, there is a brotherhood. People talk about wanting to grow the game, having more programs. Well, if you believe that, you kind of have to do your part with playing these teams that are moving, or like Lindenwood now, Division I, they've got to fill up a schedule before they find a conference, and so we certainly want to do our part. We're recruiting some St. Louis players right now, to play in that hockey market is a good thing, but we're not the only program. If you look at their schedule, I think they have Minnesota this year, North Dakota, so I do think it's important that schools try and do what they can with respect to their non-conference schedule and find a way to play some of these new Division I programs.
Totally agree with you. I think it's awesome that you guys are going there because it's hard for them to get home games. Everybody will play them on the road, but for you guys to do that. So congratulations on that. Best of luck this season, and get Frank healthy again, okay?
Will do. Thanks.
All right, welcome back in, hockey fans. It's another season preview. I'm at Air Force Academy, as you can see. I got one of the guys wearing a letter. I've got Willie Ryan with me. Willie, first of all, it's great to see you again. You look bigger, stronger. I haven't seen you on the ice yet, so I'm not sure about faster, but how's the summer been?
It's been really good. How we do it at the academy is we split up into 3 blocks, so I fortunately got 2 of the blocks at home, so I was able to train and skate back to Minnesota a little bit. And then my 3rd block was out here at the assault course, so I was kind of helping with basic training and our incoming freshmen, working with them a little bit, so it was a lot of fun.
Tell me what that's like, because Luke reiterated that a little bit too about working with basic training. What does that mean to us that don't know what it is?
Yeah, so that's really where the new cadets coming in get initiated with the military. So it's really everything from wearing your uniform properly to just basic etiquettes up on the hill. And then in my case is the assault course. So that's where we mimic a combat environment, and we have someone firing blanks, and then they're going through barbed wire and going over walls and whatnot while getting yelled at, and just trying to make a chaotic environment and hopefully then teach them how to handle stress.
I hear you. Well, that's a good thing for not only you guys as people, but it's a really good thing for you on the ice because you guys run into some stressful situations. You ran into some last year. Tell me about last season, what you took away with how close you were to a national tournament bid.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway was we can compete with every team. Obviously, we started the year out with Michigan State, and we won our first game and then lost the second one there. So we split against Michigan State, but really started from that series all the way on to the end of the year where AIC was a top team. They shouldn't have been 16th seed in the NCAA tournament, but they were a top team, and we could play with them too. So I think it really just added confidence, and obviously we got a lot of returners this year, so hopefully we can keep that confidence going.
All right, at the Air Force Academy, it's typical that you guys start a little slow just because everybody's getting used to everything, right? I know you got new freshmen coming in, but you got a lot of guys that have already got that year under their belt and are working their way up. So am I right in assuming that maybe this Air Force team is going to start faster than any typical year?
I sure hope so. That is a big thing this year. Obviously, we just graduated Alex Schilling, our goalie, and all the players are returning. So our systems and everything everyone should be caught up with. And I know the Frosh, they're learning quickly, so that's really exciting too. So I'm hopeful that we'll start pretty quick this year.
Okay, tell me about this leadership group. How much work do you guys have to do, or is it kind of just filling in Schill's shoes or skates from last year?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously always work to be done, but I mean, Shields was a great leader last year. Everyone really followed behind him. I mean, in practice and just off the ice, everything he did was really great. So obviously we had some great mentors for us four, but hopefully we can keep that going and hopefully have that same impact on the underclassmen.
Okay, there was an assistant coach here last year that had a lot of experience that's deployed now this year, and when you talk about that, you go, your assistant coach got deployed. This is really military all the way down. But tell us about Jock and what he meant to you guys, knowing the way his style of play was when he played, and knowing his quality leadership.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most knowledgeable guys about hockey I've ever met. Just little tips on how you're shooting on a goalie, where you should be looking, where you should be like pushing the puck, pulling the puck, just all these little things that, I mean, you just don't think about when you're playing the game. It's obviously moving really fast. You're worried about different things, and then he was just able to think the game that quickly. And I mean, obviously, like, he's got a banner up in our rink, so he was a pretty good player when he was here too. So just to be able to pick some knowledge off of him was really a blessing, and it'll be missed. But I know he's deployed out over in Saudi Arabia right now. And we have a team page set up with him, and he's been sending us clips and little tips for things we should be looking at. So he'll be missed greatly that he won't be here in the game, but we'll still be able to contact him and really keep in touch.
Well, rumor has it he learned everything from his twin sisters, so we'll leave it at that. Jocelyn and Monique, we'll give you a little shout out there. But okay, so let's talk about the schedule, because I think this year is a year that maybe, even if you don't win the Atlantic Hockey Conference, that you have the possibility of gaining enough pairwise points to earn a spot on your own, if you will.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I mean, yeah. Obviously, like, we're playing the Atlantic now. This will be my 4th year, and I think all the teams are really good. Every year, last year, we saw all the Atlantic teams knocking out Big Ten teams, all these other conference teams, NCHC teams. So obviously the Atlantic Hockey, we're there, and I think that I'd be surprised if there aren't more than one team. I mean, there's talent all around, and that's really a great thing, just an exciting thing to look forward to, really.
Okay, you got an exhibition, I'm calling it. Nobody else is, though. On the schedule it says exhibition against Colorado College. I think they've gotten much better over the summer. I'm sure you expect big things from your program against them. But then it really starts for real with the icebreaker. And you guys have had some success in the past in the icebreaker. So Notre Dame and Maine, what are they in store for when they come here to the Cadet Ice Arena?
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be a great test. Obviously, College Hockey News just came up their poll, and Notre Dame's 9, and I know Maine has received votes. So I mean, we're obviously really looking forward to it. It'll be a great challenge, and it'll give us kind of what should we be expecting for the year? What do we need to improve on? What are we really good at right now? And I'm sure probably the same for those teams.
You're going to spend the Christmas holiday in Tempe, Arizona. Not all bad, but you got some quality opponents down there too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I know we play BU, and then obviously it's in Arizona, so we're playing at the new rink. So it'll be really exciting. We got some really good challenges on the schedule, and if all things go right, hopefully we can pull out some wins.
All right, final one I've been asking everybody. Last year I had a word of the year. It was called relevancy, because I thought with the COVID, everybody needed to stay relevant, keep your programs, keep your fan base, everybody had to stay engaged and relevant. This year it's cohesiveness. I watched it in Denver last year from pretty much August until they took home the national championship.
Yeah.
So, Willie Ryan, describe cohesiveness to me at the Air Force Academy.
I mean, that word I feel like is everywhere at the Air Force Academy. You kind of have to be, because everyone's in a squadron, and you need to know what everyone's doing there, and we all have jobs within squadron. And then when you leave that, obviously you're in class and you have group projects, and then you come down to the hill, or from the hill, and you got to be cohesive as a team. If you're worrying about one thing and someone else on the team's worrying about the other, there's no way to be cohesive. Like the team will struggle. So I mean, I agree. If we're going to be successful, we need cohesiveness on the rink, when we're lifting weights, when we're really doing everything, and then once we kind of find that, that's when everything starts going in the right direction.
Good stuff. Always nice to bring in the pride of Minnesota. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. right, welcome back in, hockey fans. I'm at the Air Force Academy still. We're doing our season preview because the season starts really quick. So I brought a guy that's wearing a C this year, I think, in Luke Rowe. Luke, first of all, welcome in, and how was that summer?
It was good. Summer was good. Learned a lot. Got to fly a little bit. Worked basic training. Got on the ice. Got to lift. So it was all-encompassing. Unbelievable summer.
Okay, when I look at Air Force on paper this year, I go, oh boy. Because typically what Air Force does is they bring in a bunch of new guys, you build your program throughout the year, and then when March comes, you guys really crank it up and you make a run.
Yeah.
I think this year you're starting ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I think the experience is here, the leadership's here. So I'm wondering, when you guys make that run in March, is that the run that you need to propel yourself deep into the NCAA tournament? Not just get there.
Yeah. I think we're going to make that, you're going to see that Air Force March team in October, and I'm really excited for that. And we have a lot of experience. The guys that everyone on our team last year saw minutes on the ice in big-time games too. So this year they're going to bring that experience and teach our freshmen, coach them up. They'll learn very quickly, and we have so many leaders and guys that have just they've seen every different situation that could be thrown at them. So I think you're going to see a primetime March Air Force team come early in October, and I think, well, I hope by March we'll be in even better shape, even better conditioning. We'll have our systems down pat, and we'll make some noise.
Okay, so I just talked to Coach Doyle, and he kind of glossed over it. He said a lot of people are coming back. We got a lot of experience. The only guy we're really missing is Alex Schilling, and then he kept talking, and I said, hey, slow down, because we all know what Alex Schilling meant to you.
Yeah.
So tell us what Alex Schilling meant, and how big are those skates to fill for Alex Schilling, for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's an unbelievable guy, unbelievable goalie, one of my best friends, my roommate on the road, and it's hard to replace a guy like Shills, but we have 4 goalies that are determined and that are capable, and every single one of them is a collegiate goaltender and can make a difference and really help us out. You miss Shills, you wish he could stay here for as long as you're here, but that's how college goes. You come in for 4 years and you get out, so yeah, like I said, we miss him a lot, but next guy up mentality, you know.
One of the things you could do with new goaltending is play solid in front of them, and I'm guessing that's what this group plans to do.
That's the goal. Yeah, we have a D-core that is hard-nosed and willing and committed, and I think if we just stay sound to our game and we play within the framework of our systems and play as a team, play as a unit, play as a D-core, then our goalies shouldn't have too big of an issue getting acclimated if we can do our best to help them out.
Tell me about the experience of making that run in the conference tournament last year. You go through West Point, which is never easy.
No.
You get a quarterfinal or a semifinal round, I guess, and then you get to that championship game against AIC, and of course they're not going anywhere; they're just reloading.
Yep.
What did you take away as a team?
We took away that we need to finish in big time scenarios. We went through West Point, unbelievable series, and that was a good feeling to sweep them at their home rink. And then RIT, there's an unbelievable game of just willingness. And if they scored, we had the mentality that, hey, we're going to come right back and we're going to score. And then we did a good job. We finished West Point, finished RIT. Like, we have to finish the job with AIC. We can't let them do what they did to us last year. So I would say the lesson we took from that is it's never over until it's over. So we went into that game, I wouldn't say with bad attitudes or anything, but something just wasn't firing, wasn't clicking, and that's going to be the difference this year. I think every game our team's going in with the mentality that it is a 60-minute game and we're going to play the entire 60 minutes and the extra 5 if need be.
I like your roster. I really like your schedule. I think you get tested.
Yeah.
But I think you want to get tested, especially early. Starts with the icebreaker. You're sharing it with Denver, but you got Notre Dame and Maine coming here.
Yeah.
Then you get to take a trip to Tempe in January, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah. That should be fun.
And then you're going to compete against what I think is a really good team in the NCHC in your crosstown rival. It'll start with an exhibition this weekend, but just your thoughts on how college hockey has gotten better and how your schedule is going to help you get up the pairwise.
Yeah, across the board, college hockey is fantastic. It's not watered down by any means. Every team is strong. Every team can win on any given night. CC exhibition game. I was just saying before, it's no exhibition game. It might be on the rankings and in the statistics, but it feels like a playoff game every time we play them, whether it's exhibition or out of conference. Yeah, I mean, we like to be challenged. We want to put our names on the map. We want to beat Notre Dame. We want to beat Maine. We want to beat BU. We want to beat CC, Arizona State. And we think we can. We think we have the right guys in the room to do that. And it's just going to come down to, are we doing everything we need to satisfy that goal? Because I am fully confident that we have the capabilities to do it. Okay, my co-host on my podcast likes to talk about last year being the year that he thought maybe 2 teams from Atlantic Hockey were going to get in, one on the pairwise and one win in the conference, and he was thinking you and AIC. Yeah. So how important is it to build your pairwise numbers just in case you don't win that conference tournament, to maybe put yourself in a position like AIC was in last year? Yeah, it's important. You want to be ranked. Like, you want to be able to make it to the national tournament, whether you win the conference or not. But I don't even think that's our focus. Our focus is one step at a time. And for instance, it's Tuesday today. We're thinking about Saturday, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna play Saturday, and then on Monday we'll think about Friday. Friday we'll think about Saturday, just like that until it gets to the conference tournament. We're gonna start thinking about, we're gonna win this conference, and once we get there, and if we accomplish that goal, then that's when we think, all right, we'll take it to the national tournament. But you play your game, you win the games that you need to, you win big games. The pairwise will take care of itself, and we're just focused on doing our job. All right, give me a thumbnail. Where's the strength lie of this team besides the experience? Up front, defensively, goaltending, where do you think that you guys are going to be the strongest? That's tough because we have great forwards. All of them are capable. All of them can score. They can play within their roles very well. Our D-core is fantastic, and our goaltending is, I think, going to be very good this year. So I actually think it's within the locker room. It's kind of our family mentality and how everyone's willing to fight for each other and everyone loves each other. And some people might say that can only get you so far. You need the skill, but I think we have the skill and we have the talent. And I think mentality is make or break, and I think we have that mentality. All right, final one for you. Last year I used the word relevant. With the pandemic, I said teams need to stay relevant with your fan base, with your team, with your recruits, with all of that. Yeah. This year, the word I'm using is cohesiveness. I watched Denver do it last year. They were cohesive, I thought, from August all the way through a national championship. I asked some of their players this summer, I said, what was the best part about winning a national championship? And they said, almost to a man, doing it with my teammates. Yeah. So define cohesiveness here at Air Force. What is it to Luke Rowe? I mean, that kind of defines us, and that defines our team, and that's, we go through a lot of strife up there on the hill, and we go through a lot of it together. And basic training, you go from the start, from when you get here, you go through basic training, you're going through the rigorous academics, the military training, not to mention the competition down on the ice. So all that does is it beats you down, but it beats you down together so you can build each other up together. So, I mean, I couldn't agree more. Winning a championship with your teammates is the best part of winning a championship, and that's what we're going to do. Luke, I appreciate your time. Good luck this season, okay? Thank you very much.